Today we're going to talk about 3 of my favorite BFS poppers to cover all situations as you head into these summer months. The first one I'm going to talk about is something that, unless you're already in the BFS world, you probably haven't heard of, and that is the Eurotackle Z-Popper. This is also the smallest popper I'm going to talk about today, coming in at 40 millimeters and size 12 hooks. This guy is, I think it's 4 grams, and this is probably the most interesting of the 3. That being because it is a popper, but it walks extremely well. And it doesn't just like chop in place, it actually kind of glides a little bit. In my opinion, I actually would put this more as a walking topwater than a popping topwater, as it doesn't have a super strong chug or like a blooping sound when you do pop it. But I don't think of that as a bad thing. That's actually where this bait kind of niches into my arsenal. So if I'm looking for something to target like large bluegill, small bass that are eating like bugs, this is a great little bait that can kind of emulate like a little beetle, just kind of scurrying on the surface. Super interesting little guy right there. The next up is going to be the Rapala Ultralight popper. And this guy is also interesting. It kind of goes on the other side of the spectrum. First of all, this feather treble doesn't come on it. I just put that on there. But this bait is really interesting because it's not a walking popper. It's not a very versatile popper, but what this popper has is a super loud rattle, very metallic-y colors, and it has the loudest and largest chug and pop of all the poppers that I've tried in this category, which makes this unique in the kind of opposite spectrum. So if I'm fishing open water, fish are really aggressive. I'm thinking like fall time, they are schooling up and they are eating bait just non-stop. This is something that can really pull their attention and potentially get a larger, more aggressive bite. So loud, big chug, definitely just like lean into like the popping aspect of it. This is super awesome. And then to kind of blend those two together, and my personal favorite, this is the Megabass Baby Pop X. This is the largest bait of the 3 that I'm going to talk about today. It comes in at 50 millimeters, so about 2 inches. These hooks don't come on it. I put on these size 12 hooks because I'm fishing it on a lighter weight BFS combo, and those hooks just set a little better for me. The reason this is my favorite and probably the most versatile is because it is a little larger. So it's coming in at 5 grams as opposed to 4 grams, which makes casting it a breeze. It also has a lot more kind of like bassy colors. Megabass colors are just like super confidence inspiring. And it also can do both of what the other poppers can do. So whereas this popper is primarily like the Euro Z-Pop, this guy is primarily a walking popper. This guy can also walk. Doesn't quite walk as well as this guy, but he can walk. And then if you pull up this guy, the Rapala has a super loud chug, and this doesn't have quite as loud of a chug, but it can still pop and chug very well. So what these 2 baits have, these 2 baits are kind of like on 2 ends of the spectrum, right? We have subtle kind of walking bait, we have loud popping chugging bait, and then the Megabass kind of falls right in the middle here. It can do a little bit of both, but kind of gets the best of both worlds there. So usually on a day, I'll start with this guy because it's the easiest to cast, easiest to fish with, best looking colors. I'll kind of see what they're going for. If they want more of a walking bait and they're kind of going for that, then I'll switch to the Z-Pop, see if that'll kind of increase my bites. If they're going for like that, if I'm just chugging it and they're just smashing it on top, they're super aggressive, then I might switch over to that Rapala. But honestly, if you're just going to buy one, this is the one to buy. Those other 2 are just interesting ways to kind of dial in that topwater bite. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, please subscribe. If you thought there was another topwater bait here that I missed, please leave it down in the comments and stay tuned for the next video.